How would you like to perform your daily activities without pain stopping you? Then you need to go to pysoflex.com. That's P-Y-S-O flex.com, P-Y-S-O flex.com. They offer a wide range of resource selection from braces to body supports. They even have one of those awesome massage guns and even a full body massage mat, which is awesome. So with the help of their products, you can live more comfortably and get back on track doing the daily activities that you enjoy. Their company stands by the belief that pain management is a requirement for a person to get back to doing their daily chores. They want to be your provider of products that will give you hope when you're facing challenges such as activity injuries, chronic pain, or an age-related disease. The company's goal is to give a one-of-a-kind selection of high-quality, comfortable brace and support products that ship directly to your home as soon as possible. Whether your health recovery is from a sports activity or health-related illness, they have a solution to aid that unexpected disease under one store. It's pysoflex.com, P-Y-S-O flex.com. They also have a 30-day return policy, which means if something just isn't working right for you, you can return it for your money back. Guys, check out pysoflex.com, P-Y-S-O flex.com, and manage your pain and get back to your life today.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Guys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown Review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I am one of the hosts of this show, Michael Ritter. You can find me on Twitter at Michael5Ritter, and also one of the hosts of the Football Function podcast, available on pretty much all your podcasting platforms, whichever one you're listening to this show on right now, and also Patreon if, you don't like ads, which who likes ads, so definitely that's the way to go if I could say so myself. But joining me on today's episode to break down the SmackDown that aired on December 9th, 2022 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Shout out Kurt Angle. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Joining me, you just heard his voice, John Carrasco, big speaker at BIGG_speaker. John, how you doing?
I am doing pretty good, man. And, of course, it's good to be back here in the studio, Funkytown, of course.
Yep.
And, it was a pretty jam-packed show. Dang, I'm already messing up already, but let's kind of get those out the way. But, yeah, it was a good show, man. I was definitely interested in a lot of stuff that was going on and everything like that. So, yeah. Definitely ready to break this down.
Yeah, and I do have to preface by saying I missed a beginning portion of this show. Now, typically that wouldn't be an issue as far as like me having something to do on a Friday evening immediately after work. But because DirecTV and Fox are still in some BS contract dispute, I don't even know what the hell to call it. I was able to watch SmackDown last week because it was on FS1. I've been watching it via Fire Stick. But that's whenever I'm at home. I started right away at 7. I missed basically the entire first hour of SmackDown. Now, before we recorded, obviously, you pointed out a couple big segments, such as the LA Knight stuff. So we went back and watched that, which I'm very glad. Shout out to you for pointing me in that direction, because I'm glad I didn't miss that. But I'm going to have to catch up. SmackDown comes on other channels, and obviously it'll be on Hulu and all that good stuff. So I will be able to catch up on this SmackDown. But John, my co-host here, obviously, there's a reason why we're a tag team. There's a reason why we're two of us. He got the hot tag, and he held it down for that first hour. But either way, we're gonna break this SmackDown down, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I do believe this is the SmackDown Review 112. I could find out very quickly. I think last week was 111. Yep, last week was 111. Today was 112, so we're rolling here. You ready to dive into this SmackDown, or was there anything that happened during the week of wrestling, anything like that you want to touch on, or you're pretty much good?
Oh, well, basically, I guess we can go right into the Drew McIntyre. This is definitely a big factor in this first match that pops up right here. But Drew McIntyre, I guess he had a or he got a blown eardrum, so he's definitely dealing with some type of injury right now, which is why we get in this first match, Butch, he actually teams up with Sheamus to go against the Usos for this title match right here. So it definitely didn't start out how I would wanted it to happen. I guess you could say, missing Drew McIntyre and everything like that. That's a big person, big name, I guess you could say. So Butch filling in, I mean, of course, he's the better person of the Brawling Brutes between him and Ridge Holland. So, I mean...
Oh, yeah, Butch is better. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I got confused as to who you were talking about there. Yes, Butch is better. You're right.
Oh, yeah. Stay with me here.
I got you.
But anyways, yeah, definitely better option right there. So him and Sheamus, they basically go into this match, and it starts off pretty quick, man. I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything to it. Teams come out, there's no talking at the beginning of this, no talking at the end of this. So it was
pretty much straight action.
Action. I was pretty happy about it.
So the show opened with straight wrestling match. Bell.
Well, I mean, of course, they do the entrances.
The entrances, yes, but
there's no talking. There's no
promos.
And there's
great.
nothing in this. So
Damn it! I'm pissed. I missed that.
I was about
man.
to say, dude, it was pretty good. Like,
it's rare that we get that.
Yeah, from a wrestling standpoint, I mean, instead of seeing like them going back and forth with the words, every time that they do, you get a straight wrestling match here, and they put on a good show. Definitely wasn't mad at it. Sheamus, he definitely had some impressive white noise. I don't even know what you're going to, just moves. The one off the top rope, hit Jimmy Uso on that one. Jimmy Uso again on the apron.
So he expanded it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. He was
a little bit of sprinkle on top.
It was pretty nice. I mean, of course, there was times where they gave the Brawling Brutes I guess you could say, the believable that they were going to actually win,
they got
Butch.
some momentum. They got some offense in the match.
Yeah. Butch, he had a nasty tornado DDT that I liked so much. I mean, the way that Jey Uso took that bump and just went with it, it was awesome. So from my perspective, man, the wrestling part of this was like the whole part of it. I mean, I wasn't mad that, like I said, no promos or anything like that. So definitely like a good way to start the show, and I can't complain about it. But the Usos, they do end up getting the win. Of course, they're not going to drop the titles just for nothing. But one thing that popped out to me was Wade Barrett, man. I mean, he's finally starting to grow on me. I'm starting to catch up with what he's starting to say and everything like that.
There was a funny line he had later on the show, and we'll get to it, but yeah.
But yeah, he definitely goes, or he just starts saying why the Brawling Brutes are still continuously going after the bloodline, even though they're losing it every time, So, I mean, kind of made sense. But then again, I mean, Michael Cole, he turns around and says that Sheamus is just a tough SOB. And that was just the end of that conversation right there. I was like, okay, I believe that. Banger after banger. So Sheamus has definitely put on matches to, I guess, keep this going without it being too much of a damper on them since they're losing, I guess you could say. So
yeah.
But
go ahead. I guess the only question I have really quickly is, because Drew McIntyre, obviously, you mentioned at the very beginning, he got taken out because of the injury. He was supposed to be in this match with Sheamus. Do you feel like if Drew would have stayed in there, it would have been completely different?
Oh, no. Yeah, I definitely thought, I thought it would have been a better match, of course, but I don't think that the outcome
stayed the same.
would have changed at all. I mean, of course, we went through the War Games and everything like that. We saw who was the better team of the two. So, I mean, it's still going on that trickling, bloodline way, I guess you could say. So, for that to have happened, I guess this would have been like the way for them to end this feud that they got going on. That's what I was kind of seeing from like last week and everything when they were announcing this. So, yeah, I'm going to say no. Drew McIntyre wouldn't have made the outcome of this change at all.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So, no mic work before the match, no mic work after the match. You probably are about to allude to it, so I'm sorry if I'm reaching here, but Sami Zayn was that.
Sami Zayn, he was a part of this.
Okay, gotcha.
Break the end of this match down. Usos, they get the 1D, off the top rope, 1D for the win. Crazy thing was that Sheamus, he was trying to get in there. I mean, of course, there was so much stuff that was going on outside of the match. Solo, he went, him and Ridge was going at it. So Ridge, he took a spinning solo in the timekeeper's table.
Okay.
And that put him out of it, So here goes the numbers game for the Uso, or for the bloodline, I guess you could say. So Sheamus, he gets knocked out outside of the ring. 1D happens in the middle of the ring, I guess you could say. And then Sheamus is trying to come in, and this is where Sammy comes in. You know, he wasn't really much of a distraction, I guess you could say. He was just over there giving like applause and get up type stuff whenever one of them were down. But this was the most impactful for him because he caught Sheamus while he was dead slide in with the leg, and he was trying to break that count. And
so the reason why the pinfall was able to happen is because Sammy did make an impact in this match.
He did.
Yeah, he stopped Sheamus from breaking it up.
I thought it was going to be like something like bigger distraction, I guess you could say. But I mean, of course, he just played his role as the helper, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he did his part.
Yeah, and definitely got the 1, 2, 3 for the Usos, and that was it right there.
As you'd expect. Really not a surprise there that the Usos won, like you mentioned. Even if Drew McIntyre did stay in this match, I don't anticipate that the Usos are going to lose the titles anytime soon, especially in 2022. They're going to roll through this new year. The Royal Rumble, I feel like, is the earliest that they could possibly lose that. But is there anything else on this, or are you ready to move on?
Oh, I didn't have really much to it. I mean, like I said, I just enjoyed that it was a good wrestling match. So, I mean, that was an A+ for me on that. Yeah, but following this, man, I mean, we jump right into a backstage promo, I guess you could say, with Kurt Angle. You know, he's walking in with Gable Stevenson. Like we mentioned his name.
Where the hell has he been?
A couple weeks ago. So it was kind of good to kind of see him actually in screen, I guess you could say. But he was just walking in with Kurt Angle, and they're approached by Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman, my bad. I mean, he's basically just giving Kurt Angle his happy birthday wish and everything like that coming in. And then,
if Braun Strowman and Matt Riddle tag team together at any point and they give themselves the name Broman, they definitely need to owe you some royalties there.
I'm about to say, well, Strowman, he actually or he talks to Gable. He's asking him when he's going to be moving out of the PC Center and everything like that. Or, you know,
he asked Gable when he is.
Yeah,
okay.
Gable,
I'm wondering too, so I'm glad he asked.
You know, Gable, he actually responded by saying he doesn't know exactly when, but whenever he does, he'd want Braun Strowman to be his first match. So
taking the Desmond Ritter approach, huh?
A little
Keep
nugget
him on the
right
bench
there
for a while.
A little nugget right there.
Okay.
But I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, it's almost about a good year, I guess you could say, because I want to say
was it WrestleMania when he had that moment? It was, wasn't it? Okay, I don't remember honestly. That's kind of a blur, you know. But either way, I do remember like him going in the ring and like, did he have a beer or so? No, he had like a solo cup with the Street Profits and a bunch of other people as well. That was a moment. I knew he had a moment, bringing him in from like front row ringside, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. But it makes sense to get this Kurt Angle stuff started. They come back here. They touch back on this several times throughout the show, leading to the main event, which is the birthday celebration. But man, it's good to see Kurt. It really is. It's been a while since I've seen him on WWE TV. Having him here on the A Show, SmackDown, the show that Kurt Angle was a part of whenever it was in its heyday, as well as a lot of other wrestlers as well. John Cena, he'll be here December 30th to come to, I forgot what city it's going to be in. I forgot.
I'm not sure about that, but I know he's just
December 30th,
he's
coming for
finale,
SmackDown. Yeah, he's coming to SmackDown. Hey, and I already mentioned it. It's not rocket science or anything like that, but yeah, John Cena's going to come out. He's going to say something. Like he's going to cut a promo, probably going to close the show. Someone's going to interrupt him. I don't know what that's going to lead to anytime soon, but I mean, I've heard rumors, whispers, whatever, about John Cena being involved in WrestleMania or possibly getting a spot in the Royal Rumble, so it would make sense. But yeah, having guys like Kurt Angle, John Cena, people who have made a name for themselves on SmackDown, it's good for the brand, literally. Good for the brand.
Yeah, man, it's definitely like brings back a little bit of memories. Like been talking to you about like watching SmackDown and stuff from back then. That's who's actually it's surrounded around, you know, storyline wise. Just with I don't know if you remember like Kurt Angle, he brought like all his brothers and stuff to the end of a SmackDown show one time. I don't know, yeah. Yeah, and then, man, I forgot who attacked him. It was the Dudleys. And then Vince McMahon put...
who?
Dang, I'm going to say Bubba Ray. Sorry.
Bubba Ray?
Yeah.
So one of the Dudley brothers, though? Okay.
Yeah, and then... basically just go against each other. It was a good match and everything like that. And it's just like I said, just bringing back the memories with it and everything. So, yeah, good to see Kurt Angle coming back to SmackDown. Happy birthday again. But we can definitely move into this next part, which was the part that you missed. Pretty interesting. I mean, of course, you missed a lot of it, but
Yeah.
it was a big part, I guess you could say.
No need to rub it in, but yeah, continue.
But yeah, like Mike was saying, LA Knight, he basically comes out, he's, I guess, kind of pissed off about what's been going on with the Bray Wyatt situation. Of course, trying to point out that Bray Wyatt's over here lying, saying that it's not him that's actually doing all this. But of course, LA Knight knows, I guess you could say, that it is Bray Wyatt.
I mean, unless you're cross-eyed something, you should be able to know.
I mean, there has to be something. I mean, of course, I think it is Bray Wyatt as well. But I mean, I think there is a little twist that we're not catching on to. I mean, so that's what's
I love this.
Keeping me hanging on and everything like that. But yeah, get back to it. I mean, LA Knight. I mean, of course, he's just a phenomenal talker, I guess you could say, on the mic. And
Great
everything.
mic
Like,
work.
so the way that he explains this whole situation, definitely he brings you into it too. So he basically just kind of goes through the video packages 3 weeks ago, showing everything that's happened, kind of pinpointing the puppets, I guess you could say, that's been hiding in the background and everything like that.
I love that. Just the references.
It's just so funny, the way that this dude can go about this and just make it serious, but then funny at the same time. So I mean, it's all good. But yeah, but what do you think about this? I mean, I know you had to go back and watch the video package a couple times, or different videos, I guess you could say. But what came to mind whenever you seen all this?
Well, it's creeping up on the bloodline status in terms of my interest every week for SmackDown. Whenever I turn it on, what am I looking forward to? Whenever I'm looking, entering stuff into my notes, and I'm just kind of trying to forecast what the episode might be like. This is what I'm looking for the most. And then it's because it's not cookie cutter. You're not getting stuff like this on Raw, and that's not a shot at Raw, because you're not getting anything else like this in if I can get that out a little bit, sounding like what's her name's brother on 51st Dates. Anyways, you're not getting anything else like this on SmackDown either, and you haven't in a while, because these two dudes are so unique in the way they go about their individual programs. So of course, if you put them together and they're working together, they can both go on the mic. They can both pull you in, like you mentioned, and get you invested. If you don't care about either one of these guys, you're interested to see what's going on. You're interested to see who exactly is attacking LA Knight. Of course, you have your opinion. You have who you think it might be. LA Knight clearly thinks that he knows who it is. But there's always that twist that might happen, especially with a character like Bray Wyatt, where something could be introduced. I can't praise this program enough. I'm along for the ride. I am fully buckled in. This thing could go for a while, honestly, because every week they're getting more and more, I guess, personal is a way you can look at it. They're kind of taking turns getting mic time, getting airtime. The other one, I mean, whenever Bray Wyatt was getting airtime, LA Knight was only shown attacked backstage. It wasn't like he got much, I guess, or he wasn't featured much, is what I'm trying to say in that specific segment. But I'm definitely all for this, 100%. I know I've been pretty clear about that, but the main reason why is just because it's different. So if you take anything away from that little spill that I went on just now, just the uniqueness and the people involved is really what keeps me coming back for this.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I really didn't think about the them being on and off at different times. Like
kind of alternating.
But yeah, definitely. I guess you could say that's interesting too, because the face to face, whenever they had the little face to face, of course we got some slaps out of it, some good emotion, I guess you could say. But if the next time I see them face to face, I want to see them actually in ring match this time. I mean, of course they're going to give us that slow burn, but
yes.
But yeah, I definitely want to see them in the match next time.
One thing that I'm taking away from it is you see a lot of the times with these programs, one person or the other will more or less carry it. They'll carry the program. Any program Roman Reigns is in, he's most likely carrying the program. Just his presence alone, he brings the juice and the excitement to those programs. With this, you genuinely feel like they're both pulling their own weight, and they're both taking turns, and they're carrying this thing together. And I'm excited to see where it goes, like I said. And I think that it could end up being a thing where we don't really see one of them for a while. I've seen this formula used where somebody gets hurt because these dudes are attacking each other. Clearly, they're both out for blood. Mm-hmm. Whether it's too early for that or not, whatever. I've heard rumors that Triple H wants to include a Hell in a Cell match at the Royal Rumble, not at a paper. This is like, tell me that one isn't more organically brewing towards that direction here. So I'm just saying that there's a lot of outcomes you can take this. And I'm sensing that we're watching something pretty special, just in terms of whenever we look back on it and we are thinking about some of the best programs on SmackDown throughout the last calendar year. This one damn near stacks up with almost anyone, in my opinion. Of course, that's some high praise, but I really like this stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely, like I said, that slow burn is definitely keeping me hanging on and everything like that. But we could definitely jump into this next part with LDF. I mean, they basically have a I guess you could say parking lot interview with Kathy Kelly, but it's quickly like turned away because out of nowhere you hear like it's basically Shotzi. She's screaming in pain. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, I guess they smashed her hand into a car door. So basically that's what you're getting out of this, I guess you could say, because it jumps right into another interview with Megan, and this time she's interviewing Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. And to me, it was pretty lame,
Okay, call it like it is.
I can't really say, like, anytime I see any or these two come to an interview, it's basically just going to be like some, like, scrap rid stuff, I guess you could say, because I don't take anything that they say seriously, I mean, it feels like it just kind of goes in one ear, out the other, so apologize for that, I guess you could say. This is an interesting part for me, but I
got a hot take, and it kind of just came to me. Excuse me. Ronda Rousey is only champion because they want a big name for the Hollywood Los Angeles WrestleMania. That's the only reason why. She's heel, right? They're forcing this heel gimmick on it. They're going to let a big-time babyface win the Women's Royal Rumble, and we're going to get a pretty big showdown for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But they want the name value of Ronda Rousey. They're bringing John Cena. They're trying to call The Rock. They're calling out, like, they're putting all their chips in for this Hollywood WrestleMania here, WrestleMania 39. And it just kind of hit me like, okay, like, because as you were saying it, you're like talking about how you don't take them seriously, and it's just like, it's basically channel changing every time that you see these people come up for an interview, or like, backstage interview. And pretty much I was like, why is she champion? Why? I understand they needed somebody to take the belt off Liv, somebody who's more quote unquote credible, like Ronda Rousey, she objectively is. I guess I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, why is she champion then? And it just kind of hit me like, oh, well, it's obvious. WrestleMania, this is a big one. They want to market this bad boy. It's in SoFi Stadium. They're trying to sell it out. They want the big names. I know they literally had a match at WrestleMania last year, but doesn't it make sense to have a returning Charlotte win the Royal Rumble, go beat the brakes off of Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania for the second year in a row, win this championship? And, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of makes sense. Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. I know we kind of been there, done that, but I don't know, man. There's only, I feel like with what they're doing with the Raw Women's Championship, that's more of a youth movement. Like you look at Rhea Ripley as somebody who might challenge Bianca for that, or even Becky Lynch, somebody who has a possibility of re-entering her name in that conversation. So I don't know. The SmackDown Women's division gets a lot of heat. It gets a lot of negative publicity, because it's not deep. There's not a lot of depth. There's not a lot of excitement there. They're trying to do that, but I don't know. Maybe somebody like Raquel Rodriguez. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of options, a lot of ways they can go here. But go ahead. This segment isn't over, I believe. I kind of took it from you there. I apologize, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I mean, because it's kind of crazy that you brought up Charlotte, because I was kind of thinking, like, that's one of the people that I've been, well, I wouldn't say been paying attention to, but I mean, of course, Twitter. I mean, you get to see like her always working out a lot more and stuff like that. Seeing like she's actually getting ready to be or come back to the ring and stuff like that. So, I mean, you saying that kind of ring a bell, I guess you could say, because right now we're looking at Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey being a tag team, So maybe you're onto something right there. Maybe Ronda does lose that title to Charlotte, and then maybe we get the tag team of Ronda and Shayna going against whoever got the women's titles at the time, you know?
Okay.
That's a little bit believable, more believable than her being the women's champion, I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
that's my 1 and 2 on it. But yeah, we can definitely get back into this. But
Go ahead. Yeah.
we do get Liv and Tegan Knox. You know, they walk up.
So that happens next?
No, it's all
That's
in
later?
the same interview still.
Okay. Okay. I get you.
We're still in the same
Gotcha.
interview,
My bad.
Liv and Tegan Knox, they come up and they basically just kind of say that the team that they got going, you know, of course, they have been living up to that brutal name, I guess you could say, putting out 3 different women superstars, injury-wise, I guess you could say. So Liv basically just goes and says, yeah, you've taken out all those teams, but you haven't taken out one team yet. And she's basically just referring to her and Tegan. So basically, it kind of just sets up a match for later on. So right whenever this happened, I guess you could say I was already rooting for Liv, I guess you could say. It's been a good minute since we've seen her in the ring. And I get a new Tegan Knox, I guess you could say. So
You saw a video package, too, highlighting all her injuries and all that stuff.
It was crazy to go back, or I wouldn't say go back, but kind of see like what she's been through. And her little road, I guess you could say. Yeah, so for that to kind of transition into like the ring and stuff like that, I mean, of course, it looked like it was kind of...
She's in some damn good shape, man.
I mean, yeah, she looks good and everything like that. I can definitely tell you that the baggy pants that she was wearing last week didn't give her any...
They didn't do her justice.
Yeah, she definitely looks like she's in some top shape, I guess you could say. But we won't get into that match just yet, just because it's a little bit longer down the road. But yeah, whenever I saw that, I mean, I was already going for the team of Liv and
the baby faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Shayna, I mean, she kind of hits them with you mess with the bull, you get the horns type thing, and then just a little walk away, and then Liv, you know, kind of just laughing it off and stuff like that. So it was a good interaction, I guess you could say. It kind of sucks from the Ronda side and everything like that. Of course, like I said, the mic talk and stuff, but it seems like it's just scripted, I guess you could say. But after this, we do get another matchup between LDF and the Viking Raiders. Of course, the LDF's accompanied by Zelina Vega, and then the Viking Raiders are accompanied by Valhalla, I guess you could say, new name and everything like that. But again, we get Zelina Vega on the mic. Kind of seems like at the beginning.
On the commentary?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, but it kind of seemed like it was just like more surrounded, like around her at the beginning of this, you know.
They're really putting the spotlight on her.
Yeah, I was just like, are we watching a match or are we watching somebody just talk over here? But other than that, I mean, it seems like people love this from her. I mean, I can say that I applaud her because, like, being more of the side role, I guess you could say, more of like the wrestler. I'm not taking that she's not a good wrestler or anything like that, but she's definitely a good mouthpiece for LDF on the side, I guess you could say. But we do get this match, man, and it's going pretty good, I guess you could say. And then out of nowhere, Hit Row, music drops, B-Fab. She comes to the top of the stage, I guess you could say. Not dancing or nothing. It was crazy. She was serious. She dragging a chair behind her. You know, I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe are we going to get some Zelina Vega versus her, like, after this, you know? But that didn't turn out that way. Hit Row, they come in, interrupted, you know, distraction, everything, come from behind, and they take out LDF and the Viking Raiders.
Cool.
And, yeah, that was like the...
Clean and Haas.
I was like, okay, Hit Row, y'all are actually... Y'all impressed me this time. Y'all actually took out two teams, not just one or anything like that. No fluke stuff or anything. They took them out. They controlled that ring and everything like that. And it was interesting. You know, I can definitely say that after this, they have hooked me for their little team or whatever you want to call it, rap group.
Hit Row?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm freaking like a fish, you know. They caught me, reeling me in. No, I'm just nibbling on the little worm they got hanging or whatever.
You're taking the bait.
You know, yeah, I am. So, yeah, it was definitely better to see this out of them rather than just like the little fluke gimmick that they got going on, I guess you could say.
Disney Channel.
Yeah. So it definitely like brought them up on my list of tag teams, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's really all you can ask for. I mean, to be honest, this is probably the one segment we've talked about where I'm like, I'm not really too sad that I didn't get to watch this. But hey, you know, seeing Hit Row look a little bit different and this being the segment that won you over for them. Maybe I should go back and watch and see if my perception is altered at all.
Well, it was just better than seeing them come out like with their little rap thing, you know, singing their song, you know, like y'all are a rap group. Maybe y'all can change the song like every 3 shows or something, you know, different.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well have the little wand and say that we'll be right back after this commercial break. Thank you for watching Disney Channel, and do the little thing, you know.
Something, dude, because at the beginning of this, it was just nothing for me, I guess you could say. So, I mean, like I said, this happening, I mean, definitely opened my eyes to him. But, I mean, other than that, let's see what we got from here, I guess you could say, because it is announced that next week they are going to have a triple threat with LDF, the Viking Raiders, and Hit Row. So that is a match that I'm looking forward to next Friday.
So that match was already announced, huh?
Yeah.
As well as that Intercontinental. So next Friday is looking all right.
I mean, at the end of the show, everything was kind of announced. But, I mean, just...
Our Christmas party's
we're
next Friday.
I know, dude, and it's going to kind of suck. I mean, I am going to be more ready for this part of it. I mean, Christmas party, man. We're looking forward to some good food.
Oh, yeah.
Some drinks. What?
Yeah, we might have something in our Red Solo Cup like Street Profits.
Street Profits.
Yeah, either that or we might go out with Sheamus and have a pint.
Dang, heck no, I'll be passed out in this chair.
Either way, we're gonna do it responsibly and at our boss's house. Actually, that's where our Christmas party is. Surprisingly, you don't really want to see
an employee party, so it's nothing too crazy.
Very nice residential home, or I don't want to say well-cooked steaks because that's a literal meaning, but what I'm saying is the steaks are cooked by somebody who can cook well. Like, he's good. I personally like mine medium rare. Just to go ahead and get that out of the way, because I don't want to say well and people, start thinking that I'm a crazy guy. I like medium rare, medium, something like that. But either way, you signed me up for a ribeye, and I'm all ears. But anyways, we're not talking about food or anything like that, even though, hey, that is going to be a fork. That Christmas party next week, just in terms of the timing. It literally, like I said, when I started doing this podcast in October of 2020, literally in December, I went to this same Christmas party and recorded that night. And it was just pretty crazy. Either way, got it done. We're going to cross that bridge when we get there. So, anyways, where are we at here on the show?
Oh, I mean, basically, right after this, we get another video package of LA Knight. I mean, he's, like you said, he's on that little hunt for Bray Wyatt in the backstage, I guess you could say. So he approaches a door. I mean, it looks like he's already went through multiple doors, I guess you could say. But he approaches this next door, and in the locker room little area, I guess you could say, there's a T-shirt hanging with Bray Wyatt symbol on it, right? So he goes in there, he grabs the shirt. I mean, looks like he's maybe wants to rip it up or something like that. Takes it off the hanger, and then all of a sudden the lights go out. So he, as any normal human being, I guess you could say, you'd turn on your flashlight of your phone and stuff like that, kind of do a little 360 of the room. But him, on the other hand, he definitely wasn't expecting this, I guess you could say, especially by the little sound that he made whenever he turned his camera around and he saw one of Bray Wyatt's characters standing right there, and gave a little gasp, I guess you could say, and it just goes off the air from there. And I don't know what to say about it, man. I mean, he basically went back there to basically get beat up again. This is what he was trying to show us at the beginning, he's been leaving the stage and everything like that, and then all of a sudden he gets mollywopped, I guess you could say. Yep. And here we are again.
I have something to nitpick.
No conclusion, though.
I have something to nitpick here.
Go ahead.
So you said the first thing you would do as a human is pull out your phone and turn your flashlight on.
Oh, yeah.
Why did we not see this? The phone screen. How did you pull the flashlight? How did you get the flashlight on? Well, that's the first light we see. Now, me, if I'm pulling it out, I'm going to hit the side button. Okay, there's my flashlight button. Got that. Oh, takes me a little bit. See, my phone sucks. See, I finally did it. My only thing is, why did we not see that light? But hey, like I said, that is nitpicking. I prefaced it by saying that, and that's just something that I thought I noticed because that's what threw me off. I thought maybe you would have seen LA Knight's face, out of the screen of his phone, light up his face, and then he gets his flashlight out, puts it up, turns around, and that's whenever the light of his phone shines on whoever that person was with the freaking blue eyes who was standing right there. But that's just one thing. Like I said, not a big deal at all. I'm not complaining about this. It's just something that I noticed, and I maybe was paying a little bit too much attention to this specific thing. But either way, like I said, love this. All here for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely like digs a little deeper into the whole situation and everything like that. So definitely leaving us on a hanger, I guess you could say, a little bit longer. But man, I'm so interested in like what's gonna happen out of this. You know, like of course they're giving it to us slowly, but I want to already like get to that end point. You know, to kind of figure out what the heck's going on, everything like that. See exactly what Bray Wyatt is bringing to the table, and maybe if there is multiple people that are behind these masks rather than just one, you know. I mean, I'm on the side of it's different personalities type thing from Bray Wyatt, so that's where I'm going to stick my guns, I guess you could say. But, yeah, I am ready for the conclusion of all this just because I don't know what to think about it, you know, so it's just leaving me more intrigued every week.
It's leaving you wanting more, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's definitely good, but, man, it's just like say we're about to get to lunch, right? And you're already thinking about that, what you're gonna eat and stuff like that, and you finally get it and you smack it, and it's just like unbelievable, I guess you could say. You know, ready to take a nap afterwards, and you know.
Oh man, don't even get me started about that after lunch nap. Now,
see, you know what I'm talking about. But that's where I'm at with this. So you know, it's definitely all good. But yeah, can't really say anything negative about this.
All right. Well, I'm right there with you, bud. Sign me up for this. I hope that this is still going on whenever we're at the Royal Rumble, so we can actually get a chance to, you know, like I said, be a part of this type of stuff.
What's happening.
See these guys show up. But since there's going to be so many people there, 30 people in the men's, 30 people in the women's, not even including all the matches that are going to be going on, it's going to be a pretty packed house. And that's not including all the damn fans that are going to be there. But anyways, what happens next in the show? We got to be creeping up on to when I show up and I start watching.
I mean, I'm hoping so.
I feel like it's got to be next.
Well, I'm pretty sure. But we are at this point where we get the contract signing between
Intercontinental Championship. This is what I walk in on.
Yeah, Gunther and everything like that. I mean, of course, he's with Imperium, you know.
Ludwig
Kaiser and
Giovanni Vinci.
Vinci, yeah. I don't know why I wanted to call him something else, but yeah, definitely him. Of course, I mean, I wouldn't say like I knew this, but I mean, we knew something was going to happen out of this. But New Day, they come out
in their Power Ranger gear.
I know, dude, and it was so freaking awesome to see that. I was more on the Kofi Kingston side.
The Green Ranger?
Yeah, that definitely like.
I love both, man.
Yeah, they both look nice.
I'll come out in the Pink Ranger for all I care.
Yeah, dang, diamonds and everything.
Hey, I'll come out in that skirt, those little high boots, whatever, dude. I will rock it. As long as I'm on the Power Rangers, I'm good.
Oh, man.
But I'm with you. Yeah, I like that.
I did laugh whenever I saw freaking Xavier Woods' hair. He kind of reminded me of freaking like Rick James, but the Dave Chappelle version, you know?
Yeah.
It was just funny to see his like hair all greasy and everything like that. But yeah, they just come out, you know, kind of give that like vision of what we normally see whenever contract signings happen. You know, do the signings, the heel gets mad, you know, end up little brawl, maybe getting jumped, I guess you could say, with that situation. So that's why the New Day comes out. They basically like the backup for Ricochet, you know, just in case anything does happen. And Xavier Woods, he's definitely just going in on them, you know, letting them know. Or talking to Adam Pearce, you know, like, you watch wrestling.
Yeah, that was a funny line.
You know what happens, like, I guess you could say.
Like, why you guys there? That's not going to happen. Like, because they said, like, we already know what's about to happen. They're going to do this. Basically, the Imperium is going to jump Ricochet, is what they said. I don't want to try to quote them word for word, but basically, Adam Pearce says, no, that's not going to happen. And that's whenever Xavier says, have you ever watched wrestling? Like, that was hilarious, man. I love that.
Then, like, the whole face of Adam Pearce, you know, it looks like he was all serious at first, and then, like, he just broke, you know, because, dude, you're the one that's putting all this stuff together type stuff. You know what
he says, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You got a point, yeah.
Man. But, yeah, it turns over to Gunther, man. He definitely has some harsh words for Ricochet, saying that he's already beat him down. And then, I mean, of course, he'll do it again. And then tells Ricochet that they're basically better than, like, I don't even know what to call them. Like a team, I guess you could say, at this point. New Day, Ricochet, I guess you could say. Little squad, I guess you could say. But Gunther says that like they don't have no, or that they have love for the sport, Imperium that is, and then that they're actual wrestlers rather than performers. You know, so I was
Great
just
line.
Like,
We're pro wrestlers, not performers. In the same segment where Xavier alludes to, have you ever watched wrestling? Like, that's why this segment was so damn good, because they touched all bases. There was a little bit of comedy, a little bit of seriousness. You have the legitimate star power that Gunther brings. You have the worthy contender like Ricochet. That's why it leads to a 6-man tag match, which I know you're going to allude to, but that's why, you know, this thing was able to produce like a solid 30 minutes of the show.
Oh, yeah. And then, I mean, Ricochet, he tries to counter, I guess you could say, saying that, or making a joke out of them having performance issues, I guess you could say. And, you know, the crowd kind of gives them that little ooh, I guess you could say. And then we all know what they're talking about, you know. I mean, let's go R-rated at this time, I guess you could say. You know, they're shooting out little...
What are they saying?
Nuggets, I guess. Just saying that Imperium, they have performance issues.
What, like?
In the bed.
Like...
I can't even say
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that was definitely a little funny part after all that kind of happened, you know. So, I mean, definitely kept me in tune. But Adam Pearce, he basically just sets this match up, you know. He says he asked for somebody to come take this table out. Gunther, big old body, throws the table out himself, you know. Ricochet, he throws out the little rolling chair. And basically they just go at it, start beating on each other. Bell rings. We get a match out of this, and I can't really complain about it. I mean, I felt like, of course, Gunther was going to get his, right?
Oh, yeah.
But Ricochet, rather than like the first couple matches that they had for the title, he definitely, what would you say, like studied, I guess you could say, or he was more prepared for this match, I guess you could say, because he countered a lot more than what I thought he would. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like he was ready for like the boots. You know, the only thing that sucks was those chops. Two of them, they both looked like they hurt extremely.
Was there a moment in this match where, I don't know if I missed the part where Ricochet got popped, because I looked at his nose and his nose looked really red. Shout out to Rudolph, just getting close to, you know, Christmas time. But right after that, he started delivering some, it looked like punches in the corner.
Yeah.
I was like,
I want to say it might have been a kick to the face or
something happened where Ricochet got hit in the nose. I know his nose was red, and you could just tell, you know, somebody gets popped in the nose. That's just kind of what it looks like. And yeah, dude,
I think it was whenever he was on like all fours, and then Gunther like stomped on his face. Or it wasn't stomped, but it was like more of a kick, and he hit him in the head.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever he got
him in the corner. Yeah, it looked like he was just throwing those. I was like, wait a minute, is he okay?
It looked like he was, because Gunther like kind of like went into the rings and like was telling him to stop and stuff like that. So maybe he was really getting him a couple times in the gut right there.
100%.
So I mean, yeah, it was definitely, you definitely saw something different out of Ricochet. That's what I was trying to get at all of this. You know, definitely seemed like he was ready, prepared, and he put on a show. I mean, yeah, Gunther called him a performer, but sometimes a superstar like this is a big deal. You know, we get Rey Mysterio, small package, big name, you know. So, I mean, it's been proven that this type of skill type works, I guess you could say. So, I mean, I can't really say that Gunther was right in all this, but Ricochet, he definitely showed me some heart, and that was the biggest thing out of all this.
He's going to need a lot of heart, a lot of other stuff to overcome the monster that is Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion. We're going to get that match next week on SmackDown. Obviously, we're going to be breaking that down. But continuing on here, now this is where I start to be familiar with what happened on the show. What happens next, though? I don't have my notes.
Well, we go backstage again. We basically get the Bloodline. They're having their little celebration. Oh, let's go out to eat type stuff again. And Jay, he holds Sammy back. He tells him, you know, Tribal Chief, he's going to be here next week, you know, already announced. And I expected like a bigger pop from the crowd and everything like that whenever Jay had said that, but it was completely quiet, sorry. And he just tells him, man, maybe you should get cleaned up, you know, maybe trim his beard down to like a 3, I guess you could say, cut his hair, but I don't want to see Sammy cut his hair, you know?
Do not.
I mean, I think the little trim that he did already was, you know, good little addition to, I don't know, just a haircut, I guess you could say. Anybody gets a haircut definitely looks better afterwards, but I don't know.
Not everyone.
Well,
I've seen a couple chili bowls in my time.
Oh, my gosh. I can't say nothing about a chili bowl.
I have a feeling you experienced the old chili bowl.
I did. At least until I was maybe about 3 years
I mean, it was a 90s thing, you know, it was a 90s haircut. At that point in time, you were considered cool if you had that. So, hey, looking back on it, who's laughing, all right? You were cool at the time. But anyways, yeah, go ahead, yeah, haircut.
But, yeah, I mean, kind of cuts like that. Sammy, I mean, of course, it looks like he's kind of shocked but still excited at the same time, you know, just facial expressions and everything like that. But, yeah, it wasn't too much. I mean, definitely get to look forward to seeing Roman Reigns, I guess you could say, next week. And the suspense of what's going to happen, like what's supposed to be this big day about, I guess you could say, for Sammy, you know. So definitely got something to look forward to next week. And did you have anything to put on that, or?
Not really. Honestly, I must have missed this. I don't know how, because I was expecting you to talk about, when you said go backstage, I was expecting the Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan, #1 dad little thing. Yes, that's what I thought. That's where I thought you were going. So I'm glad that you brought this up. I didn't get a chance to see it, but yeah, don't cut your hair, Sami Zayn. Don't do anything like that. Let it grow. Trust me, as someone who is rocking the long hair, the longer it gets, the more flow you get, the better life gets. I will say that. But anyways, yeah, dude, that Jason Jordan, I thought that was just nice. It was a nice little touch. I haven't seen Jason Jordan in forever. I don't know what he's up to these days doing his backstage gig with WWE, but he and Chad Gable, they had potential, man. American Alpha, that was a tag team that I thought was going to be talked about amongst the Dudleys, the Hardys, just teams that, you know, you thought you were going to witness them win double-digit tag team championship reigns, and just never happened. I don't know if it was injury-related or whatever, but there was a program, a storyline, where he was revealed to be Kurt Angle's son, and it was pretty freaking wild, to be honest.
Okay.
Wild few episodes of Monday Night Raw. That almost seems like a lost time at this point. But, yeah, so that was a nice little touch, the #1 dad stuff. Of course, we get more Kurt Angle a little bit later in the show. But what happens next?
After this, I mean, I get the Karrion Kross backstage promo with Rey Mysterio. I mean, he's basically he kind of gives Rey Mysterio his flowers for being I guess you could say the bigger person in this whole situation with him and his son, and him moving on, you know, flipping the page, coming to SmackDown and everything like that to try and put everything behind him. But then again, Karrion Kross, he goes and says, I mean, of course, we all know that kind of like that reference whenever you see a animal that's struggling, you know, life type stuff. Like, it's best just to always put them down.
Yes.
And that's basically like what Karrion Kross is trying to allude to with all this talk, I guess you could say. He kind of just like goes into like a family tale and everything like that. But he's referencing Dominic Mysterio in this situation. So 2 security guards, I guess you could say, kind of come up. They ask if we have a problem type stuff. And it doesn't seem like Karrion Kross is coming across as a threat. You know, it's just basically coming to Rey Mysterio as somebody to, I guess, bump his thoughts and theories over their little situation, and maybe he might be that person to take out Dominic Mysterio for him. Maybe team up, you know. Who knows what can go out of this? I mean, I expected whenever this happened or first started, you know, he walked in. It started with Scarlett. You know, she was in there first and everything. Yeah, so I thought this was going to be something bad. I thought maybe lights were going to go out, maybe turn to black and white, like their music and everything like that. But it was ultimately a positive talk, I guess you could say. So who knows what we're going to get out of this.
Hey, the angle you pitched about maybe being Rey Mysterio, that's just too heel-y. You know, that's a heel move. Karrion Kross, you don't fight fire with fire, you know, when it comes to Dominic and Judgment Day and all that stuff. But at the same time, you may have to, you know.
I mean, you got Scarlett.
You try to take a good guy approach against Thanos, what happened?
Yeah.
You freaking lost. All right, you had to come back. You had to take your L's. You had to regroup. You go back and you kick his ass. That's something that needs to happen here with Rey Mysterio and the Judgment Day, and it could definitely happen at some point. But hey, Karrion Kross, man, he's somebody that has main event written all over him as well, and you can expect him to have a pretty big 2023. But continuing on here in the show.
Okay, I mean, we do get Lacey Evans. Well, I
saw that.
I guess they're trying to push it back on us and everything like that. But I don't know why this time it feels different. Like, she's actually on Twitter a little bit more. I mean, I guess she's like, of course, just posting pictures and stuff like that, trying to make herself relevant like the rest of the women's SmackDown stars. I mean, you get on Twitter, you see so many different superstars doing the same stuff, just taking pictures and everything like that. But like this approach to it, I mean, of course, they're still giving her that military background and everything like that. But this time it feels different for me. I mean, I want to see her back. I want to see her come back into in-ring competition, I guess you could say, because they just put her off. And I feel like they're doing that with a lot of superstars that they're bringing back, but then they're ultimately finding their place for them. Maybe that first go around wasn't the best time. Now we got so many different women that they can just put anybody against anybody now. So I'm all for this.
Yeah.
So like I said, the military thing, I mean, I'm all for it. But next up, we get the Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna. You want to take this one over?
Yeah, I will. Well, number one, Tegan Nox, Liv Morgan seemed like a decent new tag team. I like a little fresh coat of paint. I like something new. And it's not saying that always new is good, but in this case, it was nice to see Liv team up with someone. And, obviously the Shotzi injury with her broken hand, that has a lot to do with all this. And I feel like both of these women want to tag together, and it does have that, I guess, that
natural feel.
It has that feeling that this team could do something good.
Mm-hmm.
It has that little potential. It doesn't feel like I guess, this isn't a shot at them, but it doesn't feel like Lana and Naomi, where, like, you like that tag team, but they're not going to really do anything too spectacular. But whereas Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox, you're like, okay, well, there's some potential behind this tag team. You could actually push them. So I did like that aspect of it. Them having a chance to go at the tag team of Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey was nice. There really wasn't a whole lot of Ronda Rousey, though. I don't feel like she got a whole lot of action in this match, and that led to Liv Morgan taking advantage and beating Shayna Baszler, or at least pinning her. I don't really know. Was it the Oblivion that she used to get the win, or was it some?
No, it was Tegan Nox. She hit Shayna Baszler with the Silent Whisper.
So
I believe it is. Or the Shining Wizard, sorry.
Shiniest Wizard.
Okay.
Yes, okay. That's her finishing move. So for some reason I thought Liv got the pinfall, but it was Tegan. Okay. So they get a win together early. That is big.
Liv, she does get the pin. She gets the 1, 2, 3, but the distraction with the Raquel coming in, Ronda jumping down to go do the arguing, Jessica Carr, the ref, she was distracted by that. So that's whenever Tegan Nox hit Shayna Baszler with that. What is it?
Shiniest Wizard.
Shiniest Wizard, yeah. And then Liv gets the 1, 2, 3.
Okay, it makes sense. I like the results of this, just because like I said, you want to make this team feel like they're credible. And if you made them lose their first match together, what's that say for Tegan Nox? Liv Morgan, a lot of people, if they're already sour on her, even a win isn't really going to necessarily help or change their opinion on that. So, I feel like this was a pretty good little ending to this segment, I guess.
Yeah, and this, man, like I said earlier whenever we were breaking down the little interview, I do like that Liv is back. It's good to see her in the ring and everything. And the little distraction by Raquel, man, I know it was supposed to be a little bit more. I mean, of course, she's uncleared for any type of in-ring competition, I guess you could say, because her arm. But
she's looking like J.J. Watt out there with that brace.
Little robot, huh? But yeah, I mean, she definitely she gets the dub out of this. She gets the distraction to help Liv and Tegan Nox, I guess you could say, defeat Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Yep.
So that's what she
Big
was ultimately
win.
looking for in her eyes, I guess you could say. But man, well, what is that going to lead to? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, maybe we get Raquel to team up with Liv Morgan and Tegan Knox. You know, maybe.
Possibly.
But, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, because Shotzi, she got hurt. It seemed like, smashing her hand and everything like that. And then, of course, Raquel, she's still hurt. So, I mean, like I said, I get that she wanted to go out there, maybe be a distraction, help with the loss, I guess you could say. But I just don't get the point of it now. I felt like that was kind of like put past and everything. But I don't know, man. Good stuff right here.
Yeah, it is. Very good stuff. I'm definitely going to see the development of Tegan Knox and how is she going to be featured going forward, because she is a hell of a wrestler, man. She could go, and she has history with a lot of the women on this roster already. I think it's a nice addition to the SmackDown division that desperately needed a little shot in the arm. So I'm definitely on board with the Tegan Knox arrival on SmackDown. What happened next on the show?
I mean, basically, we just kind of get the breakdown of what's going to be happening next week. With Roman Reigns coming, the IC title match.
Yep.
And then another interesting thing was the women's tag team title match, which is going to be between Liv Morgan, Tegan Knox, and of course Dakota Kai and Io Sky. So that's definitely a good push right there. Already jumping out the gate and already getting into some big spotlight, I guess you could say. So, like I said, the team that they got going on right here, I felt like it wasn't forced, I guess you could say. It feels like it's more of like a natural gel, Of course, this is first time we're really getting it, but I feel like this is gonna definitely work long ways, I guess you could say.
Without a doubt, yeah.
But also, I mean, another good match to look forward to, I guess you could say, is the triple threat match that's going to be happening.
I'm excited for that one.
Between LDF.
Just because I missed that earlier today.
Viking Raiders and...
You said Hit Row, LDF, and Viking Raiders?
Right. Yeah. Dang, I was already losing them. But it's kind of sad because I was just saying that they're pretty high on my list after that. But
not so high, I guess, huh?
I am pretty excited to see that, man. I'm going to call it already. Hit Row wins. Let me say that.
Hit Row wins. Okay, You heard it here first. John, a week early on his predictions.
Zelina Vega, B-Fab. Match is going to be happening after that, too.
Okay, now he's not only predicting a winner, he's predicting the next step in storyline. Oh, my God. Okay.
We're moving here, okay?
All right,
I got my hands rubbing together, and I'm creating some
Do you
fire
happen to
over
know
here.
any lottery numbers or anything like that?
WWE is looking for a producer, and I'm going for it.
Okay, hey, you heard him. And if this comes to fruition, then I think that WWE might want to check your DMs because you might have a big speaker sliding in there. But continuing on.
And
After the tease.
That was kind of awesome to see that they were that they posted, that
they're
they were
looking
for somebody like that. I mean, of course, you just have to have a creative mind, man. You just got to be able to long time storytelling. I mean, I think I could write a book.
Slide in their DMs. My name is Bradley, 26 years old. Live at home, bit of diehard wrestling. Live at home, obviously. But continue on. Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, we can definitely move into this next part. It basically just goes into Kurt Angle's birthday celebration. He comes down to the ring, and again, give him another happy birthday. Throughout the show, I guess you could say. And he's basically just interrupted by Alpha Academy. Chad Gable, he was pretty pissed off that he wasn't invited to his little party, I guess he had backstage and stuff like that. So
that cake looked good out there.
I'm gonna say that was a 3-tier right there. That's expensive cake right there. Not even gonna lie.
They smash freaking Lamborghinis. You kidding me? They'll smash the freaking.
Gosh, that thing was freaking crazy. But I mean, Chad, he basically gives Kurt Angle his 1 and 2s, saying, "Oh, he sucks" type stuff. Crowd, all into it and everything, but. Kurt Angle, he basically just walks away. It doesn't seem like he has anything to say about the whole situation going on in the ring. And he just casually walks back up to the top of the stage. And he's met by Gable Stevenson with a milk truck. So they drive it down. Yep. You already know what the heck.
Yeah.
They drive it down. They, instead of getting the hose at first. You know, they just get a couple cartons, open them up, and start tossing them at freaking Chad Gable and Otis in the ring. And these doofuses are over there just standing there like,
just taking bumps for the cartons.
I know, and Otis, he's over here acting like he's getting hit, like really, you know, like forearms and stuff like that, like the bumps that he's taking and stuff like that. So it was funny, definitely funny to me. But the big thing was whenever Kurt Angle brought that milk hose and just started spraying, you know, like I guarantee that hurt just as much as probably like a fireman or, you know, the hose that they used.
I didn't feel good.
Yeah. And Otis was just standing there taking it like in the stomach, in the face type stuff. And I was just like, bro, does that not hurt, you know? But it was a good little way to end the show, I guess you could say. And I can't really say that this was a bad thing, I guess you could say.
Man, when this was going on, I couldn't help but think, imagine if Pat McAfee was involved in this segment. He's from Pittsburgh. So, like, the fact that they were in his hometown as well, this milk segment, I feel like he would have added so much to this. But this was badass to see. You know that this was like, I mean, they don't do this every day. Mm-hmm. This is a callback to, like, 2001, one of the biggest moments in Kurt Angle's career. So I knew right away when they brought that milk truck out, I was like, we're witnessing something here. Like, this is going to be a segment that's going to be replayed time and time again in the coming years, especially whenever people are talking about Kurt Angle and, you know, his last TV moments in WWE. But I liked it, man. I did. I felt like it was entertaining. Otis did a good job of, like, coming up towards the hose because after a while, it was just like he was just spraying it and it really wasn't getting on him that well. It was like a little bit of like a shower, but it wasn't like you were being sprayed. And then Otis finally, you know, ran over to the ropes and started getting it really good.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, man. It was. You know, I love seeing Kurt Angle, and it was a fun way for the show to go off the air.
Yeah, man. And I kind of just doing some more digging into it. Like, if Gable Stevenson was to come and then have Kurt Angle as like his advocate, I guess you could say, I think that would be awesome. You know, you kind of just like learn from one of the top guys, get that experience, and maybe become a big name yourself. So that's kind of where I want it to go, I guess you could say. But it's just all thoughts, theories.
Yes. There's a lot of ways they can go, but man, this was a fun episode of SmackDown. A lot of good stuff coming next week, like you mentioned a little bit earlier. Pretty stacked episode, but that does do it for us here on the SmackDown review. Hell of a job by you. Appreciate those detailed notes, getting us through the first hour of the show, because you know the DirecTV Fox BS likes to, you know, linger around still. It seems like it's a never-ending problem, but I mean, you know, duty calls, and eventually we're going to get around this bad boy, but. We do want to thank you, the listener, for tuning into this podcast. Hopefully you will come back next week whenever we review the episode that takes place in Chicago. We may have a guest, a listener joining us. We'll kind of see. We'll touch base and see if that happens. But other than that, I mean, hope you guys all have a damn good weekend. John, you got anything?
Oh, man, definitely want to just give you a shout-out. I mean, football function and everything like that, man. It's freaking awesome to hear, you know, that you are probably past your 200th episode already.
Yeah, around 204 now.
204, yeah. I mean, I was listening whenever Big O, what did you say? Like, I don't know. Whenever I was listening to the 200th episode, it just seemed like you were real appreciative of like where you're at this time, you know. So it's definitely good to see that, man. Here, I guess you could say, and I would just say, just be consistent, you know. I mean, just stay true to what you got going and everything like that, and that fruition is gonna happen, man. I guarantee it. We're piecing it together little by little for you, and you know, just trying to help you out and everything like that. So definitely shout out to you and Terry, CM. That dude's a freaking funny guy. If y'all listen to, or if y'all watch College, come listen to CM one time and tell me that he doesn't remind y'all of a Sunday night slow down radio host. That's just something that I always. Whenever he starts out the show, that's just where my head goes, and I'm hooked from there. You know, I've definitely listened to the whole episode and everything like that. College is something that's hard for me to stick with, I guess you could say. There's so many different divisions, teams, you know, I don't know. But he's definitely a good insight and a good addition to y'all show. So, yeah, definitely shout out to you again. Patreon members, Discord members. It's awesome, you know, to get the interaction. It feels like the Discord is kind of slow at the moment, you know. It doesn't seem like everybody's really engaged with the show and stuff like that. it seems like that's probably been like for like the last 3 shows. So hopefully we pick back up on like the conversating, because to me, whenever I'm doing the review, I mean, of course, you ask me my thoughts and stuff like that. But then again, I like to kind of add in what the Discord members are kind of saying here and there and stuff like that. So for them to be quiet, y'all heard of me, all right? Let me tell y'all that. But
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all and everything like that. This is a fun process, and man, hope we have a good weekend.
Well, he said, appreciate the kind words, appreciate the plug, all that good stuff. Go check out Football Function. We're creeping up to the very end of the regular season and, creeping into playoffs. And it's no better time to be a football fan. And we're creeping into the best time to be a wrestling fan as well. So this is just a good time in general. It's time for us to enjoy it, bud. Let's go ahead and do that. Make the most of it. You guys walk passionately in the direction of your dreams. I mean that. Walk freaking passionately in the direction of your dreams. Don't just casually do it, half-assing it. No, you better get your ass up and walk passionately in the direction of your dreams. And I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.